Hey, welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith, and how are you all today? I want to tell you about and talk about the impending collapse of the healthcare system. I know it's been coming for a long time, and many of you are aware of it, but it's coming faster, and I just got some information I want to let you know about because it's important. Before we get to that point, I guess I will announce that yes, the paperback edition of my latest book, Hostages to Fortune, is now available on Amazon. I was holding off a little bit. I wanted to make sure that they got the edits made that I had sent in, and it looks like everything's a go. So I know that a lot of people have been buying the Kindle, and it's going great guns, and I thank all of my readers out there for that. But I've been holding off on the paperback, and it is now available. It continues the if you're new here and you don't know what in the heck I'm talking about, it continues the Stonemod saga. My series of books, the Stonemod series, the Reversion, the Revival, the Renewal, an Appeal to Heaven, and the Blessings of Freedom, and now Hostages to Fortune. It continues the saga. These are the books that are the complete battle plan of preparing for, surviving, and rebuilding after a complete collapse. Those stone modders out there, I know you're excited to get this because I've been having people ask me about it for 6 months. So yes, you can go, and I'll put the link down below. If you haven't read any of these, don't buy this first. They have to be read in order. So you can go to the link down below, the link to my books, and you can order those, but start doing them, and it'll show. You see how on the cover of this it has 1 star and then 2 stars, and then if you get confused which one is one, then 3 stars. It's it shows you what order they are in. So read them in order because it's a great story. And once again, I have ordered a whole bunch of these to be delivered to me. So once again, I will offer all of my books that you can get directly from me, autographed if you would like, and the information is also down below. I have a couple of other cool announcements coming up, but I'm not quite ready to make those yet. Well, there was something else I was going to say about that. It seems to me, oh yeah, if you want them fast, get them from Amazon. You won't get them from me as quickly as Amazon. They specialize in shipping. I don't. I specialize in writing. And but I'll get them to you if you want, and all you got to do is tell me, what you would like me to write in there. No bad words, no lies, anything like that. But if you'd like me to, make it out to you or a friend as a gift or whatever. I just had somebody, by the way, it was Lori Coyle. And I believe she said this over on the Patreon channel. She said she had just bought the 3rd set of the Stonemod series. And this one, she was happy that this one included 6 books because it included this last one, Hostages to Fortune. It's our 3rd set. We have a lot of people that do that. They buy these sets as presents, and I love doing that. Just tell me if you're sending it as a present, say make this out to my Uncle Bob, and say whatever. Just write it in there, and I'm happy to do it. Okay. Oh, the other thing, I see that I'm wearing a Stonemod shirt. Yes, we had been selling Stonemod shirts back in the fall, and I stopped doing it because I wanted to take a closer look at the types of shirts we were getting, the colors that were I had to make up my mind on some things, and the designs that I wanted. And we got so busy at it, I just stopped talking about it. But yes, T-shirts will be back available in pretty soon, and they will be available on a new website that's about to come up, and something else, but I'm going to hold that. Okay, I got a call it was a text from a good friend of mine who is still in the healthcare system. Now listen closely to this. And spread this. Share this with your friends. Okay. As many of you know, I worked in the security department of a major healthcare system for, well, almost 13 years until they demanded that I get the, you know what? And I said no. And I did get a religious exemption through the church, and but then they wanted me to take weekly tests, and I said no. And Kelly did the same. So we both lost our corporate jobs over that. That's a stand that we took. And because of preparedness and because of what I talk about more over on prepping for preparedness, establishing multiple streams of income, I was able to give that job up, and it did not have a terrible impact on our lives. But I told him, no, not going to do it. And there you have it. I saw horrible things happen during the last few years that I worked at that hospital. Just terrible things. The quality of the nursing just went down unbelievably. The quality of care went down unbelievably. I don't need to get into that much here, but I'll simply say this, that, well, by the time I left, when I would walk through the emergency department where communication is very important, they were losing so much of their older staff, of their experienced nurses, that they were bringing in nurses from Africa and India. Not that these aren't good people, perhaps, I don't know. They aren't necessarily good just because they're nurses or from India or Africa. I have no idea whether they're good or not, okay? But they were bringing in nurses from other countries who did not communicate well in English. And when I was in the emergency department, there would be nurses in there that could not understand the patients. The patients could not understand them. The nurses could not understand each other. The doctors couldn't understand the nurses. Half the time, somebody would be saying something, and other people would go, "What? What did she say? What?" When you're in an ER or other critical places like intensive care or any place like that, communication is paramount. I mean, besides the skills and the knowledge that those people have, they have to be able to communicate. And that was just going in the toilet. Now, I want to say something here because when all this started several years ago, I made a video and I talked about the quality of nursing coming down. And I had a person come on here, and I don't know if she was a nurse or not. She said she was, so I have no reason to doubt that. She said all nurses are exceptional. No, they're not. Okay, I'm going to get that right out there. No, they are not. Half of nurses are below the average of nursing, okay? Just as are half the cops, half the priests, half the teachers, half the doctors, half the postal care workers, half the bakers, half the carpenters, all that, okay? So I don't want to hear any of this stuff about all nurses are exceptional. No, they're not. All nurses are not exceptional, and not all of them are in it for the right reasons, just like not all cops are in it for the right reasons, okay? Let's just get that out of the way. So I don't want to hear any of that stuff about they're all wonderful. Some are. I have some friends of mine who are nurses that are just fantastic. And then I know others who aren't. Okay. Anyway, I got and I have heard that since I left, the quality has gone down even further. Got a text from a good friend of mine who is now with another, and he is one of these super nurses, a CRN, a critical resource nurse, I believe they call it. They're the ones that get called when the rubber really meets the road, when they need somebody to come in and actually do stuff that the doctors can't do. And he texted me, he says, "We haven't had an ALS ambulance in 2 days." Now, ALS means advanced life support. Okay, you have BLS, which is basic life support, which, they can thump your chest and get you to the hospital. And then you have advanced life support, and these are the ones where the paramedics are able to, I won't say do everything, but they have a much better chance. They're able to deliver what is considered advanced life support. Okay, he says, "We haven't had an ALS ambulance in here for 2 days. And so I asked him, why not? And it came down to staffing. staffing. There are so many, and this is a major. This is. I mean, you would consider this a top tier ambulance service. It's a public ambulance service. It's a county, to a very affluent county, and this service has always been thought of very highly. He says the old people are quitting because they're disgusted with how the system is going. Anybody close to retirement is getting out, and even some not close to retirement are just throwing up their hands and saying, I'm done with this. They're losing those people, and they can't find good people to fill the slots. So here we have a major county who is unable to staff ALS ambulances. This is a top-tier county in the country. And then he told me that at a particular hospital, I won't identify what hospital it is, but I have a feeling it's quite a few of them, and it's pretty widespread, that the hospital is trying to hire paramedics to come in and be like nursing assistants in the ERs, because so many nurses are leaving, so many of the old nurses are leaving, and either they're unable to fill those slots with new nurses, or the quality is just not there. So here we have a situation to where not only isn't the ambulance service able to staff properly with paramedics, but then hospitals are also trying to pull from that pool of paramedics to come in and act as nursing assistants in their ERs. Folks, the medical system is just about, it's been going down into the ditch for a long time. But you know how you go down in a ditch and you see there's water at the bottom, right? It's about to go underwater. And pretty much everybody that I know who's still in the system hates it, hates working there, doesn't want to be in there, and they're just looking for a way out. This doesn't bode well for anybody who's going to need medical care, especially emergency medical care, in the future. And I don't see it turning around. I see it getting worse. What this means for us from a preparedness standpoint is it illustrates to us the importance of having as much medical, meaning first aid and then beyond that, natural healing information as we possibly can. We have good relationships with now we know a number of doctors just in my neighborhood here. Out of 23 houses, we have six doctors. Okay, 6 doctors. So we know those people. I mean, if anything happened, we could just run down there and and then we know doctors other than that. We have good relationships with chiropractors and DOs and things like that. And there are people, and also with a nurse practitioner who has set up a kind of a private practice of concierge medicine. The alternative medical delivery system is really growing, and I think that's where a lot of these people should look to go. A lot of the people who want out of the system, they should look to that and see where they. So I'm talking to you guys, you excellent medical delivery people, if that's a term. Please start looking on how you can take yourself out of that system. And I know there are situations with licensings and things like that I don't understand all about. But see if you can't create your own jobs and helping people beyond that and outside that system. You'll be able to build, an alternative stream of income that might allow you to escape that system one of these days. But everybody else, try to establish relationships, multiple relationships with all sorts of different health care providers. All from dentists to DOs to chiropractors to MDs to natural healers, all of this, and increase your knowledge of natural healing. There really isn't a lot, to be honest. And I spend a lot of time in the ER because security is needed in the ER a lot. And, it's amazing how often when someone was brought into the ER, they really didn't need much more than a sandwich and a Benadryl. You know the importance of Benadryl? I'm going to talk about that when I get into my bags. I always carry Benadryl in my chick bag for various reasons. And it doesn't have a good effect on me, but it has a good effect on a lot of people. And I won't get into that because I don't want to be accused of delivering medical information. But medical people will tell you, and so often. So they get them in there and they get them, in their gown and they say, well, and these people would be talking about all their maladies and they say, well, okay, let's run some tests and we'll get you a sandwich and, appropriately, and lay down for a while. You'd be surprised how many people given a sandwich and lay there for a while and the tests come back. Yeah, everything looks good. And the doctor says, well, I just kind of see, it's the old take 2 aspirin and call me in the morning. Kind of see you might slow down. I think you're just a little stressed out. You got things going on. Yes, doctor, I'm stressed. If you want to follow up with somebody, here's the name of somebody you can call. And, by the time they leave 6 hours later, they're feeling good. If you just relax, and I'm not saying that all situations are like this. There are situations that need modern medical intervention, but probably not 80% of what at least walked in our ER, and I could be wrong, and maybe it's less than, I don't know, but there's so much that people can take care of themselves. People come in and I just don't feel good and I've had a fever. Okay, well, you got the flu. Go home. Take fluids, take aspirin, reduce the fever, keep the water and chicken noodle soup coming in, and you're going to be all right. Develop the ability to understand what's going on with yourself and others. People used to be able to do that. It used to be called mothering. Mothers used to have this kind of, and many mothers still do. Kelly does. Okay, well, here's what's going on with you, sweetie, and you got a fever and you got a cold, and that means it's the flu, and we're going to keep you in bed for a couple of days and don't do anything, and you're going to be fine. There are even a lot of, well, I won't get into that. I've had broken bones that, to be honest, would have healed fine if I had just wrapped an ace bandage around it and kept it immobile for a few weeks. Okay, I'm not giving medical advice here, but there's plenty of books out there. Develop more relationships with healthcare providers, and buy some books. Understand. Don't leave this most important thing in your life, your health. Well, it's not the most important thing. Your spiritual health is the most important thing, but your physical health comes soon after that. And don't leave this up to strangers. To be honest, half of whom don't care. I'll be real plain about that. Half of them, I'm just here doing my job. Okay. Just a word of warning, a word of advice, guys. It's getting worse. This is just another area where you need to be very, very serious about being self-sufficient, self-reliant. I know you can't do your own brain surgery, but in everything that you can, increase the number of things you can take care of yourself. Study the natural healing ways. Eat right. Probably you'd be surprised how far proper nutrition and enough sleep goes, right? Okay, I'll leave it at that. Remember the new book. The new book is out. Hostages to Fortune. It is a great story. It is continuance of the Stonemod saga. If you don't have it, it's ready for you to get it. The link is down below. If you haven't read these, you should. If you want to know all about really preparing for surviving and rebuilding after it all falls apart, you'll like them. Enjoy. And remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow, and your physical health is one of those things that everybody needs to take seriously and pay a little bit more attention to. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.